Good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode in the same day of the Wild Tangent. This is for show 22 on Thursday, June 20th. We're here. Brooks, Greg, we're here doing our show. We just went live a second ago, but YouTube in all of its grandness didn't want to go with us, so we had to restart the whole damn show all the way over, but that's fine. It works. It works okay. We only got into the real beginning of the monologue. So
I knew we were destined for something when the machine turned off 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
I knew something was going to come up.
Yep. Right before we started, we're like, okay, let's load up Bloodstained. Let's have the news kind of ready to go. And then after we did that, the machine just decides to shut down altogether. Why it does that, we don't know. We're hoping like hell it doesn't happen during the show. You never know. So we were talking about the weather. It's been nice here in Seattle. We're getting the good days at this point. There's no fires. It's not too hot, not too cold, not too rainy. We got some rain. Hopefully the rain will stave off the fires in the area at least.
Hopefully.
The smoke or whatever. It's going to be crazy.
It'll be curious to see what happens when everybody rolls into town and we're downtown here in a month and a half. Yeah,
past 2.5 years, or two to 3 years, it's basically been smoke every summer. At like the end of July.
End of July, early August, we're always downtown doing our, regardless of which show we're at.
Yeah, we do a lot of different
people
shows.
roll into town and they're like, oh, it's really nice. And we're just like...
Speaking of shows, we went down to the Seattle Retro Gaming show this past Saturday.
Yeah,
That was a disappointment.
Yeah,
I'm sorry not to call out anybody, but we went down there, and there was like a few vendors. Most of them were essentially the game stores. We talk about that here in Seattle. There's a lot of retro game stores, and they are great. This retro gaming group, I don't know. I don't mean to give them a lot of like crap about it, but they need a project manager or somebody.
You know, you've been to more of them than I have.
That was the third time I had been down there.
Yeah, and I didn't mind it. We took our buddy. We had a good time. We got some food. Actually, my food wasn't that good.
We went to that's true.
That had nothing to do with the show.
You weren't too happy with that. We went to the Alberto factory.
That was awesome.
Outlet.
That was awesome.
Alberto Meats. If beef jerky kind of things, sausage links.
Yeah, mostly pepperoni beef jerky, but they've got some fresh stuff there if you go down locally.
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
The one hang-up
Baltimore, what's up, man?
How's it going? The one hang-up I had was we all paid for early entry.
Yeah.
That especially forked me a little bit. Not that it was about the $10, but just...
Yeah, it was an extra $10 to get in an hour early, and nobody's ready an hour early, so you just stand around.
I didn't really get what we paid the extra 10 for. I feel like we could have showed up for 25.
Yeah, I mean, they had the arcade machines turned on, but like nothing else was kind of really ready to go. I'm not, listen, it's probably all volunteer stuff, but I'd hope that in the future they reconsider it or give it to somebody else to do.
Right.
Because you go down to the Portland Gaming Expo or Retro Gaming Expo. Wow. That thing it's massive. It is very large. It takes up like an entire arena. Well, not arena, but like big, like convention center.
Yeah.
And they have it packed. And it's just a really good time. Then they do another like swap meet type of thing where you can go and like get smaller stuff, and that was even much better than the Seattle one. I don't know. Seattle's just, for all the retro gaming stores that we have and all the focus around gaming in Seattle, it just seems like Seattle could be at that level, but they're not.
Yeah, we were talking about the drive back that I think we'll probably roll down to the one in Portland, right?
It is I guess, that's what I think, Baltimore. It's very much like a mismanaged scenario. Like, it could be so much better, and I'm sure the people are not paid, and I'm sure that it takes them, a lot of time on their personal time to do stuff, but I just could see it being a better event. Right? For everything we got around here, it just seems, maybe there's just not an interest for it. It doesn't seem like that when you've got like, Metal Jesus and John Hancock and all these big retro gamers that are on YouTube and different outlets. And they have like commanding audiences, and they have lots of popularity around the stores around here. You have some amazing stores. You got Pink Gorilla. You got Another Castle. You've got Smash Games down south. You've got, what's the other one? Oh, I can't remember.
You know better than I.
Yeah, I can't. I hate when Game Gurus, I think, is one. And then what's the other one? I can't think of it right now. But there's a couple of those locations, and I mean, it's I don't know. We're looking forward to the one in October down in Portland. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? And I have
Toronto, or actually Vancouver, BC has their retro game show going on this weekend. This Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, coming up. So that's only like 2 hours from Seattle. So.
You know, I haven't crossed this bridge yet, but I was thinking after the fact, I might drag that light to one of these things that I've got.
Yeah, your box Nintendo N64 light, that thing. See if you can get your money to pay for your drone you just bought today. Yeah, the immortal John Hancock and Mel Jesus and Kelsey Lewin and Kinsey Burke and John Riggs and Radical Reggie. I don't know Reggie's last name. But yeah, those are all great YouTubers that are, all in the Seattle area. I mean, I think John Riggs is like Yakima or something like that. But, travels around.
Still.
Yeah, I don't know. They show up at these shows and they're great people to bring the audience. And you wish it'd be a little bit more like that, like Portland up in Seattle. I guess maybe that's my only hang up on it. So we did that. That was fun. And then, obviously, to roll into gaming news, the first thing we hear is another bamboozle, which is EA trying to claim that they've got the lowdown on surprise mechanics.
Surprise mechanics.
Yep.
Yeah, this was
surprise mechanics. Everybody's using that term. That is the internet term of the day. Surprise mechanics.
So, just open clarity. I've bought loot boxes. I've bought cosmetics.
Sure.
I've bought pay to win.
It's like you work for like a financial news channel now.
So
and you gotta come clean.
I have no problem with people spending their money on whatever they want to spend it on. It makes very little difference to me. This came out of, and we'll paraphrase here on this. This came out of some level of EA's counsel, and they were basically. He took issue with the concept of loot boxes essentially being gambling. And that's kind of been in the news, whether it's the government, whether it's the American government, the European government.
Right.
Whether that's, we're talking about legislating, we're talking about is this gambling, is this addiction, so whatever side of the fence you fall on, whether it should be regulated or not, or legislated or not. It was particularly choice that his comparison was, he called it surprise mechanics.
Yep.
And he compared it to Kinder Eggs and Hatchimals. And something called LOL.
I don't know if that's what the yellow thing is here on the screen. I know the Kinder Egg is the surprise, but...
Yeah, and there's something else called LOL Surprise, which I'm not actually familiar with what that is.
I have no idea.
I think it's some kind of toy that you open up and there's toys and toys or something along those lines.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never heard. I know the Kinder Egg thing because weren't they banned from the U.S.?
I think because they used to have small things inside.
Yeah,
of
little
chocolate.
Toys or something like that.
It was like a choking hazard. Of
and my wife went right out and bought one for my son.
Right, promptly.
Right, exactly. Imported it from
promptly.
Whatever country she had to get these things. And that was when Howie was like 5.
Still alive, right? So
yeah, it's a load of crap. That's for sure. I think I'm a little bit more straightforward with it. I have very specific opinions on loot boxes.
Sure,
and I think in general, loot boxes should just be removed and just put items for sale, and people would buy them.
We've talked about it quite a bit. That it direct sale makes a lot of sense. Yeah. There's clarity. You get what you want. There's transparency. It just makes sense. Yep.
If I want to buy my own character's outfit for my friend Pedro, I'm going to do that. Right. So.
Right.
Speaking of that, not that we're selling it, but we like Devolver Digital stuff. Mm-hmm. My friend Pedro launched today. Have you seen this game?
I've played this.
Yeah, this game is damn cool. I like the parkour, slow-mo,
It's wild.
shooting. Yeah, and they do a lot of good games. I don't know if they. It does look sweet. I'm looking forward to this. I was saying to my son, we got to buy this today, so we can sit around and play it this weekend when we got time. Yeah, I don't know. They've got a good. After E3, and I think this is really where Devolver really showcased like what indie developers can do, right? Publisher developer, right? They have a ton of amazing games that they put out there, and this one I've been looking forward to. But all the other stuff they showed there, we were really excited from the E3 world. And I like some of the stuff they were doing with the bootleg. We talked about it briefly last week, but yeah. Good on them for getting my friend Pedro out there. And what they should do now, what they should do right now. Well, actually, first, let's throw a thing. I wanted to see if Devolver is selling my friend Pedro on their own site. If they are, that's where you should buy it from. Buy it directly from them, so that they get the. Hopefully they have the Steam keys or whatever, so they get the revenue. But it does look like they at least have it. You can purchase it, but it might take you to the Steam page. Yeah, so there you go. But they also have it on Switch, funny enough. So what they should do is go right out and talk to this guy that's doing Mario Royale.
This is funny.
I was blown away by this. This is a fun game that you go through and you basically play with 75 people.
Yeah.
75 or 76.
Yeah.
They had it at 99, but they moved it down. I don't know if that's server related, what that is, but you can play it now.
I don't think there's a tremendous difference when you have that many Marios on screen, whether it's 80 or 100.
And I'm sure that if you watch, I think if you watch anybody on YouTube, they're probably playing this game. At least to some level, or Twitch or something like that. You were playing it last night. Oh, you were playing it on Craig's channel. Oh, that's awesome. It's a great little game. I mean, it's very simple. I don't even know if I have a controller that will run. Oh no, it says controller support, but is it going to run?
Can you rebind by clicking the bottom right corner? Because there's a little controller icon, right?
Where is my mouse? There it is.
Yeah, give that a swing here.
Oh my lord, what's this?
Wow.
I don't think we need that.
Top fun.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to support that. But anyhow, you can go check it out. Just do a Google search if you haven't played around with it. Get a chance to play it. It's very fun. The guy even said play it before it's down, because more than likely Nintendo will come in and put the kibosh on. But hopefully they take this and run with it. And give this guy some credit, because he's done a pretty cool little thing with this, right? It's the first time I played Mario Brothers in a long time,
right?
Super Mario Brothers,
right?
And really wanted to keep playing.
You know what this reminded me of a little bit, and I know that
it might not be that long, Bob.
I know that they throw the term Royale onto it, which kind of means something else, but it reminded me of when we first saw that so this was a viral thing that happened a while ago.
Thanks, Bob.
It reminded me of when Getting Over It came out, and everybody immediately hopped onto it and flipped it onto their channel and started playing.
Oh God, yeah, Getting Over It was so fun.
Yeah,
man, such a horribly difficult game. But then you see people that could get through it in like
2 minutes,
3 minutes, something like that, and they went long. That game was a long ways in terms of the amount of work you had to do to get to that. I don't know.
But that's kind of, I'm not trying to make such a direct comparison because they're two wildly different games, but that's sort of what virally this reminded me of something came out of nowhere and just shot to the top.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, this is quite fun, and hopefully they don't sue the guy and they actually like do something with him to like make this actually a game for Switch, because it's fun. It, to the level of quality, like it's way more than they put into some of the other stuff that they do, right? The guy's got this down pat. It was very fun. We sat around and played it. Another one that we found out. Now this, I'm going to give credit to a YouTuber named Mad Little Pixel that I follow. That I forced WildTangent to follow, since I run that side of it. he was showcasing a game again that is free to download, and it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rescue Palooza. It's all wrapped together between like 1, 2, and 3, it looks like. Mm-hmm. And it's redone graphics, 60 playable characters, and the guy put it out for free. I think it was a team effort, right? This Merso X and a team of people. Mm-hmm. Again, just do a Google search, you'll find the game, and you can play it free today. You can download it, and this is a really good example. This is like the Sonic Mania example, right? Like, Konami needs to go. I don't know if they still have this license, but if they do, they need to go out. They need to hire this guy and let him take a swing at this thing.
I think the license sits. Gosh, I want to say
there is a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game.
I want to say that Nickelodeon is somehow involved in this as well.
Yeah, they need to all like get this guy to kind of help them in this team put this together.
You know, we've talked about Turtles kind of a few times recently between the arcade 1-up thing.
Yep.
We talked about this. It came up one other time, and I'm trying to recall what it was, but they added vehicles to this. They redid the graphics, 70 playable characters, bosses, minions, anybody from the universe you're playing as.
Yeah. It actually looks really fun. I'm going to put this on my home arcade, so...
Yeah, well,
you're still
I'm
trying
close to lobbying Miguel over here for that arcade. We'll put it right between our desk, and we'll be totally fine.
And then we'll load this on through emulation or whatever we need.
And by between our desk, I mean WildTangent team building, of course.
Yeah, of course,
right?
Of course.
So
deathmatch on Turtles.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that was one more item that we ran across. We were laughing about, and then the final thing we were going to talk about today. They announced. I don't know. I think this was just the other day. I found this on GameSpot. I think they announced this just yesterday. I don't think it was announced at E3, but they said, like, for the TurboGrafx Mini, these are the games that for sure are going to be on there, which R-Type, New Adventure Island, Ninja Spirit, Ease, Book 1 and 2, Dungeon Explorer, and Alien Crush. All great games, all unique to, well, not Ease. I mean, you can get that on PC now, but, all very mainstream TurboGrafx 16 games. So looking forward to that. Cannot complain. It's looking good. This is another continuation of plastic being pulled into gaming, and it still looks pretty good. You know, being able to have 720p on these games with HDMI out, so you can connect it to any damn TV out there today. It's going to be awesome. We saw a bunch of these down at the. I saw a few of them. Let's say that not the new version. Obviously, they're not available, but the original TurboGrafx down at the Seattle Retro Gaming Expo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was good to see that, and then you're kind of like, oh yeah, I can't wait to play them.
They had a lot of Retron stuff down there, a bunch of those machines.
Yeah,
because that's always
the Retrons are nice. Retron 5s, any of the Hyperkin stuff.
That's always my hang up on a lot of these retro machines before these started coming out. I don't have a display to plug some of those, like
sure, you're not going to have it.
I can't plug that into my screen.
Yeah, there are a bunch of people that go out and get CRTs, right?
Right.
Nice big 27-inch CRT tube TV and have it set up in their house.
Well, you found like a 34 or 35 on Craigslist for the price of $0. People were like, dude, come get this, take it away.
It would cost you $200 to get people that could lift it to move it for you. Because I had the same TV that was 36 inches, and I was much younger, and my father and I could barely lift the thing up the stairs. Jeez. It was 300 pounds easy. Oh, and it's awkward, and it's heavy on one side. Yeah. We put one in my original house in North Carolina. It was crazy. So, yeah, you're not going to see too many people with CRTs, so this is going to be the way to be able to play that.
Right.
Still saying that the price is going to have to be between like $60 and $80, right? Because that's the sweet spot. They need to have 2 controllers. They need to have like 30 to 40 games, and it'll be able to compete with the Super Nintendo ones and all that.
Right.
Yeah, the Sony Trinitron is the one that I'm talking about. That's right, Baltimore. Those things, best TVs on the market. What is yours a Trinitron? Or what do they call yours now?
Oh, mine's the Bravia X900.
Bravia. That's the panel TVs.
Yeah. It's as far as I know, it's made of glass.
Yeah. I have the Bravia HD one, the 1920 by 1080 one. Yeah. They are amazing to play games. Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Where are you going to put one? Most new home builds are probably going to collapse under the weight.
Yeah.
The floor will fall through. You're not going to, too much. One game that we're talking about today, and we were going to, not that game. Sorry, I already jumped ahead. One game we're talking about today we're going to play today, is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Mm-hmm.
Bloodstained being, it's launched already on PC, PS4, and Xbox. I think it was yesterday. And then it launches on Switch the 25th.
Yep.
So next Tuesday,
I
think that is. And the amazing thing is that this was a Kickstarter, number one, that actually has gone through complete deployment and all that. But the other thing that's amazing is it's from Koji Igarashi. Is that it? Koji Igarashi?
Okay.
Who was not the father of Castlevania.
Okay.
But he was a lead designer, producer, developer on Symphony of the Night. And then he moved on to Castlevania Chronicles and some of the other ones and was producer on that. But he's kind of like the father of when Castlevania became good again. Symphony of the Night is questionably the best Castlevania.
Oh, I'll throw my opinion. I don't think it's questionable. But
not questionably, but it's one of those. Castlevania Chronicle
It's
X,
one of the best.
Or Castlevania Rondo of Blood is probably right up there with it.
Right.
But Bloodstained looks amazing. I'm sure that everybody's seen people streaming it because the moment it was made available, I saw 5 different streamers jumping on top of it.
Right.
Which it does look really good. So we're going to play a little bit of that. We've got the game. We've got a slight discount on it for members. It's $1 off, $34.99 instead of $35. I mean,
they did an awesome sale off the bat.
Yeah, they did a good sale right off the bat for it. And then, go ahead.
Is it not a sequel to the first one? It's a sequel to what?
It is, so the first one was Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Yes.
And that came out on PC, and then it made its way to Switch. And I think it's on PlayStation, Vita, and all that. And that is the prequel. I think it's the first 8 levels. There's only 8 levels in it, but it's got 4 different characters as far as I remember, and you can play with them each, and you can switch between and all that. So got a lot of it's got a lot of replay value.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it is connected to it. I'm not 100% sure if this is direct connection.
Got it. Okay.
So.
All right.
Because I haven't even gotten to play this yet.
But we're doing it tonight.
This is a sequel to that, yes. Okay. This is the game that they originally planned to make, and the other one funded this game.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew that there was some reason that they did that to then either prove and then make this.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. So we're gonna show that. We're gonna actually play that. And the other games we're gonna show are Hollow, which is, I kind of threw it at you as like a Dead Space meets BioShock mechanic or game. It's really interesting. So we've had it for a while, but we've never really had a chance to show it. Monster Jam. We're gonna show that. I would say it's a direct competitor to Trials.
Okay.
From Ubisoft.
Okay.
Very similar.
Right.
Pixar, we're going to talk about that. We're going to show it a little bit. We're going to show another Daedalic title, Holy Potatoes, We're in Hell, which is a funny...
Is it We're in Hell or What the Hell?
We're in Hell.
We're in Hell. Okay.
Or what? No, What the Hell.
I thought it was What the Hell.
What the Hell. Sorry. Well, We're in Hell, but... What the hell is what it's called. Yes, What the Hell. And that's kind of like a little cooking simulator.
Yeah.
It's not a cooking simulator, no. It's a cooking time management game. Resource management game. Let's say resource management.
Right.
So that one's pretty funny. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Contra Collection.
Yeah, which we just put up Tuesday.
Yeah, and that's from Konami. We were going to do Castlevania Collection this week, but ended up being that with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night coming out, we thought, okay, let's hold off on retro Castlevania. We'll do that next week.
Sure.
Talk about it, and then we'll give the highlight to Bloodstained, because this is where Castlevania it comes from the same lineage of Castlevania, right?
Looks excellent.
Yeah, a lot of influence in it. So, also, what did Konami make beyond Castlevania? The Arcade Classic Collection, wasn't that theirs? Konami Arcade Classic Collection. You put it up. It was
Recently?
A couple weeks ago, like maybe a month or more ago. Has a bunch of arcade. It actually has the original Castlevania arcade game in there, as far as I remember. It's a bunch of shooters, and then Castlevania.
Arcade Classics Anniversary.
Yeah, Anniversary. That's what it was. And what is the arcade version of Castlevania? What's that called? Oh, man, it's been so long since I've seen it.
Haunted Castle.
Haunted Castle. Yep, that's the arcade version of Castlevania. Cool. All right, let's get into it then.
Yeah, why don't you kick us off here? You know a little bit more about Hollow than I. I have not actually played this.
So Hollow is...
I mean, BioShock Dead Space.
Obviously, I don't want to sit there and say, like, oh, it's a walking simulator. I mean, it's not really a walking simulator. There is a lot of depth to it because you don't remember, very similar to BioShock, you don't remember what's going on.
You're here.
You arrive on a space station in some little pod, and then you start to find out all the information. Thank you, Baltimore, for throwing the links in there. You find out the information as you go on what's going on in the actual space station. So it's not directly like you know what's happening. You're just learning about it as you find notes, holotape kind of things, or they're basically like, information, emails left on a computer, things of that nature.
I am a huge fan.
Plus there's audio ones too. Yeah.
I am a huge fan of the tapes from the past,
Yep.
the notes, telling the story through the environment. I'm a big fan of that, whether it's BioShock or System Shock or Dead Space, or a ton of games.
I'm with you. I mean, we both played. Funny enough, when Brooks and I first started our podcast and everything, it was around BioShock 2. This was years ago, so this is when BioShock 2 launched. That was like one of the first games we covered as a podcast.
Yeah, and I'll even take it one more step back. I remember I was at what was I, like 19 or 20 or something like that?
Yeah.
Talk about watching someone grow up. I remember talking to you, and you were pretty into 360 at the time. I believe I had like a PlayStation 3, right? And you were like, this BioShock game was huge, and it was sort of not on my radar. And you were like, you gonna play this? And you're looking at me, and you're like, dude, the game, I can't even tell you. You got to play to see what happens.
Yep.
And then at some point, I don't know, within some weeks or something like that, I picked it up, and then I rolled into your office one day, and I was like, got to the room.
Yeah, exactly.
About, right?
I know. I remember now.
Dude, still blows my mind.
They did a great job. I mean, the story, the writing, it all played well together. I still like to go back and play that game every once in a while.
Oh, I've played that game so many times.
Yep. And it's also got the puzzle mechanics in it.
Yep.
Right? So it's not a heavy amount. The first one you kind of see when you come in Hollow, when you first come to it, is you got to start a generator up to get power to certain specific areas. Yeah, would you kindly? That's Baltimore knows exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, funny enough, you're right. Sorry, we're diverging again from talking about Hollow. Baltimore says Dark Souls is a big one for that as well. The story components, how everything in the story is hidden inside of each item that you buy.
I love it.
Nobody really got that right away, and then you got to really dig. I would almost give Bungie credit that they tried to do the same thing in Destiny, but they did not.
They've been adding kind of the lore into the items, and it's told through the...
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
They tried, but not as... I think they did a fine job, but like I think the From Software team did such an amazing job with, you don't know a lot unless you look at each item and read the story for each item in the game.
The only reason I know the story of Dark Souls is because you've told me, and there's did you know? What's the guy that stitches them all together?
Oh, that was Game Theory, I think, did a really good job on that, yeah.
I'm watching those and I'm like, what? Because to me, the story of whether it was Born or Souls is like, dude, the story is I'm dodging and we're killing things. That's all I really...
That's all you need to know.
So...
Destiny 2's player numbers are through the roof. Yep, they're well over 1 million again, and they're doing the right things.
We were just talking... Cooper was at our desk talking about it here an hour ago.
One of our devs was over there, and we were talking about like how we've all played Destiny, and he's still playing Destiny 2.
Oh, he's right. He's right in the thick of the menagerie right now.
He was just going through it, and it's a great game. So here, I think this is where back to Hollow. I think this is where we're coming up on the generator. I think the generator puzzle mechanic. So, or maybe we already did it. God, no, we haven't got there yet. So that's one of the components. There is some puzzle mechanics to it, but it's very much like a Dead Space feel, though. You're on something. People were there. They're not there any longer. Even the map system? Look how it shows up. It's in, it's not in the HUD. It's actually like shows up in front of you on the screen, right? Very much like a Dead Space kind of look and feel.
There's an audience. Remake it.
Yeah,
make it happen.
And look, there's a wrench.
Oh, red. It's red.
Why don't you grab a wrench, please?
Let's play Hollow.
Yeah. So, like here, you're coming up on a puzzle mechanic. You've got not a puzzle mechanic, but a puzzle you've got to figure out. And it's basically aligning these wheels, and you pull out into the different rings to be able to move each ring independently, and you've got to line up and essentially make the generator run. Now, I sped everything up here, so it should move fairly quick, far faster than what you would have it in the actual game. And I didn't solve it in like 10 or 15 seconds. It took a little bit of time.
Right.
So, but great game. If you get a chance, check it out. It's a little bit of, like I said, all of those games combined.
Yep. I'm a fan of every one that was mentioned.
Yeah, and I think being a I don't know, being more of an indie game than being a AAA BioShock deployment or
Sure. We threw 50 million at it or whatever. Right?
Yeah, no, they did an excellent job. There we go. I think I got it. There it is. So the generator started up. Now we're in the command center where we were told to go, and you get kind of a look at the game's atmosphere in here, right? Like the world outside. It looks like you're on a station outside of Jupiter. It has an industrious feel to it by far. Lots of, I don't know if they overdid it with the lighting, the flares, like the light flares in the. I know you're wearing a mask. I believe that's what you have on.
Lens flare's a little popular, right?
Yeah.
Even though I don't.
They might have went a little bit over the board, but if you're in a big helmet, you do get other weapons, other items that you need to use.
Okay.
So yeah, it's got a really cool atmosphere design. I might even do an ambient view based off of it, video. I like that. It almost looks like you're looking through, and I don't know. I didn't play far enough into the game to know the secrets, but it looks almost like you're watching like a videotape. So I'm taking it you might be a robot?
Interesting. Okay.
Right? Because it's got those lines like a VCR would have.
Okay.
So, yeah, the RTX. It's got the God rays from the RTX or whatever they call that. What was their big thing that they did for NVIDIA?
Ray tracing?
Ray tracing, yeah. That's exactly it. They're all turned on. Okay, let's jump to our next game. Not that one. We're gonna jump over. We're gonna change gears, literally, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Monster Jam. So Monster Jam, like we said, is very similar to Trials. That's what I would give it.
Okay.
It's a different take on Trials. It's got some different mechanics in it, where Trials is more like, just learn. You've got to be really like good with like the R2, R3, or R2, L2 buttons to be able to like just give it enough gas. It's all the same kind of mechanic inside of Monster Jam, but Battlegrounds. Sorry, Monster Jam Battlegrounds is the full name. But it also has some other mechanics that you'll see in other racing styles that we'll take a look at, I think, here on the next level. Not this one coming, but the one after that, where it's more of a 3D environment, and you can kind of race against another vehicle.
Okay.
Not this kind of like 2/3 perspective, puzzle type, how you get through certain things or how you get over obstacles kind of thing.
So it's not just Monster Truck for the sake of Monster Truck.
No, I mean, it's definitely got monster trucks galore in it,
Sure,
because
yeah.
they're all the, as far as I'm aware, I haven't followed monster trucks in many, many years, but I believe that they're all still like the licensed.
Yeah, last I knew of it, it was like Bigfoot, Gravedigger.
Gravedigger's in this one. I do know that. Yep.
Yeah. Gosh, last time I went, I was like 10.
This is Monster Jam Battle Core.
Yeah.
I will pull up the link here.
I see what you're saying, where they do have the trials-ish levels, but they've also got more of a, I guess what I would, kind of what I'm saying, monster trucking.
This is more like a standard like monster truck, what you'd expect, right?
Oof. Rough.
Well, we have two different versions, Baltimore. That's why you're finding that. We have the version where you can try it for free, and then we have the version where you can get it on Steam.
Yeah, because I think we got, one of them had to have been from Game Mill, and the other one had to have been from...
It was Game Mill, yep.
Okay.
Race. Yep. Yeah, so based upon it, if people... I'll put the link in there for it. Thanks, man. If people want, they can try the game out for free for 30 minutes and use that link. And then we also have the other version. One sec. We also have the Steam version, which it will actually say that at the end. On that one. So you'll find certain games on our service, they have that. They have it where you can use the one that has the WildTangent tech in it, to where you can like try it for free for 30 minutes, or rent the game even for like 2 days. Or you can buy the Steam version, where you can have it in your Steam account. You redeem the key over there.
Yeah, same game. You've got the access to, I think, a couple of dozen trucks. I think you've got 40 or 50 levels. There's a whole achievement system. I think the achievement system, I'd have to double check on it, might use Steamworks.
I think Steam is the one that has the achievements, I think it's on the standard version.
And then I think, I believe both versions have a replay.
They do.
Record and,
Yep.
So.
Yeah, no, it's quite a fun game. I was sitting around playing it on Saturday. That's when I had my chance to go in and actually do the recording.
Yeah, I probably last played this when we brought game on. Yeah, one of you guys did. And we were clawing through the bricks trying to.
Oh, on Game Mill stuff?
Here, a
couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, I think. So we've had this one for a little bit, but I don't know. I just thought, racing games are popular on the service. So I figured, this is kind of a unique take on racing, and I love the trials kind of mechanic, and I like the mechanic on here. So yeah, I just thought, we'd show this one. That's sometimes how we pick games to show, right? It's based upon what we think. So we've got the links in chat for that. I think the next one we're going to take a look at is Pixar. We may have to rewind it because you saw it like briefly a minute ago. Pixar is interesting. Let's see here. Okay, so Pixar, we actually brought this onto the service, just recently.
Yeah.
We had gotten it.
We published it a couple of days ago.
It's definitely, we played a lot of Ark. Let's just say this. We played a little bit more Ark than most people have to play, or should play Ark.
I wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, Ark has been expanding their universe.
Yep.
And I believe what had happened was, how this came about was another company, Small Games, I think it's Small Games USA, came to them and were like, hey, what if we took Ark and made it like Minecraft?
Right.
And what could come out of that? Because, really it's a sandbox type game regardless. Both of them are very similar. So we got Pixar, I guess maybe a few weeks ago, put it up, and we hadn't had a chance to look at it really and showcase it on the Wild Tangent show. So I thought, you know what, let's give it a try. I went out and bought it for us so we could play it. So
yeah, so you've got procedural maps. There is a quest system. It's got the same.
There's the flying. I think it's not in here, but there is a flying house. Like a lot of the same things are in the game. They're the exact same.
You've got hundreds of creatures. You've got the, for those that
character creation.
For those that want to have a little more fun with it, they've got the, what is it called? Creative mode. Where it's,
this also has
punishing.
Creative mode, yeah. Where you don't have to worry. You can go run around. I mean, it is a very smart idea for their IP because Ark is a very unique experience.
I'm not mad that we played.
No.
We've played a couple games like this where people we tell people from they're like, oh, we kind of get like, not like hate, but just kind of get like a little lip or a little rib about it, right? But it's just like, even when we play silly games or games that might not be as polished, we end up having just. It was
a good time.
You bring the right people into the right game, you'll have fun. Don't overthink it. Don't pretend it's going to be the next coming of whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
I do like the graphics better in this than Minecraft.
Sure.
I think it's a little bit more polished. Obviously, it came out 10 years later.
Definitely. Yeah.
There's a lot of details to the dinos. Their eyes move, which is kind of cool. They have like, they put a lot of work into the details of the game.
Anybody lose dinos, or no?
There was no dinos lost in this
dinos
video.
Lost in this one?
No,
Okay.
not in this video.
Well, again, I wouldn't know anything about it, but.
Oh yeah, this game. I think this game would be really good with a group. Having a server, because you can go in and you can do everything essentially you can do in Ark.
Yeah, we ran that private server. What did we have in there? 12, 14, 16?
We probably had 14 or 16 people running on the server.
We had 2 full PS chats at one point.
Yes.
Running around.
That was the only way we could do it.
Right.
Because PSN has a limit to 8 at that time?
Up until recently when they kicked off the 16, which I think is like beta invite only, right? So.
Yeah. It's, that's a good point, Baltimore. If you don't really like these types of... If you don't like playing with a bunch of people, you can still play the game solo. And it's still got all the components of a solo story, your challenges. I like, there was a point in time where... And this is before we played Ark. I was playing it on the stream, my stream.
Yep.
And really enjoyed it, but I was playing, with like the viewers and all that. We would play a lot of different games.
Yep.
So there was like Ark. There was, oh my god, I'd have to go back through like Castle Miners we played, which is like some, not quality version of Minecraft. There was a little bit of Minecraft played on there, but not a ton. What was the other games that we played?
Well, you were earlier.
It was a bunch of these different ones like Ark.
You were earlier. You were much earlier to the.
Yeah, the dinosaurs look awesome in this game.
You were much earlier to the. I don't know, what do you want to call them? Survival. And I know that
MMO survival or
whatever you want to call them, right? Be it that was like dropping people on islands and was it DayZ? Come check out the secret.
Yeah, DayZ fell into that time frame, but a lot of us. I didn't have a lot of people to play DayZ with.
Okay.
It was kind of a little bit more shooting than playing, kind of for my taste. I would rather have played like some of these other ones.
A little more Arma-ish or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I didn't play as much, but I did play DayZ and a couple other ones, and they were okay. I enjoyed them. Oh, the other thing in here, you can scan the dinosaurs.
Okay.
And I don't know what these cameras do. I couldn't figure that out right away. They work with you in some way, but you can scan any of the dinos. You can scan stuff so you can get like what they're made of, or kind of how to create your recipes, things like that.
Ark had to have been the first survival game I'd played. I was aware of them, but I had not.
Yeah, I think
played
that's
any
right.
of
I think
them,
when
yeah.
you first started, you were like, "This is the first one of these I've ever played," and then you were like, "Oh,
And then
I'm gonna go chop that tree down."
And then like you and Sarah and John Dubb. And because then like you were beating the drum, and then we started the whole recruitment. And God, we had the who's who in there. We had Destiny players, we had Division players, we had MMO players, we had RPG guys in there. It was quite the mixed bag, so to speak. It was lively.
Yeah.
How about that? It was lively.
The good thing about Pixar is they obviously studied what Minecraft had done and made it competitive to that. So you have first person mode, you have third person mode, you have creative, you have all the other different items that different options you would want.
They did themselves a good service here. One thing about Ark, especially when we played, was it looked a little rough. Whereas this, since they stylized it, they were able to make it look sharp.
Yep.
Right? So, and I mean, I think we were also playing. We didn't play on PC. We played on PlayStation because that's kind of what everybody had.
Yep.
And I think Ark ran significantly better, or looked better on PC. Like the draw distances were better. It taxed PlayStation a little bit.
Yep.
Considering what it was.
Oh, for everything that we were doing in that, yeah, by far.
Right.
Yep, by far. Let's jump to
potatoes.
Yeah, I think we're going to do Holy Potatoes next, and then we'll do Contra, and then we'll call it good on showing some games, and then we'll go in and
play for a bit
on Bloodstained.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do that. Holy Potatoes is a great franchise. I've enjoyed these since Weapon Shop, and that was long before we ever worked with Daedalic. I had owned those when I was streaming.
I've now played all of these.
And I knew a lot of streamers like Sinea back in the day, and other folks were playing like Weapon Shop. So I got in on it, and I was like, oh, man, these are pretty good. They're pretty fun. And then you see the different mechanics. We talked about, last week, We're in Space?
It's FTL.
Yep, which is like an FTL. Mm-hmm. The original one we showcased was a Weapon Shop, which is like a tycoon-style game, or I guess close to video game developer tycoon or YouTuber tycoon or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Right, those types of games. Then there's a spy story, which is, I guess, kind of like an RPG.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Right? Like with training and stuff, and you do some battles, things like that. And then you have this one, which is a cooking simulator. And it's not a cooking simulator. I keep saying cooking simulator. It's a cooking game. Resource management game.
Manager.
So essentially, you're thrown into hell.
Yep.
And you lead a team of chefs. And essentially, how this works out is the souls coming in to hell.
Okay.
You have to divvy them up based upon four different options.
Mm-hmm.
They have I forget the ones that malice. It all has to do with things that they've done bad.
Okay.
And essentially, you split between red, green, blue, and yellow. Mm-hmm. That's the basic way it is. And you put their souls in each of those, and then they kind of do their thing, and then out pops a part of a recipe.
You put them in their respective stations, I think is what you call them in the game.
Stations. Yeah. And then you get items for the recipes. And then you take and use the recipes to cook whatever Loki at the bottom there is asking for.
Yep.
The gods are asking for.
The deities.
Yeah. You're running a restaurant for them. You usually have about 3 we compare it funny enough. Well, I compared it funny enough to kind of our resource time management games that we have for casual.
Right.
Like Cake Mania or Delicious Emily.
Right.
Very similar style game.
Out of the original stories, right?
Yeah, so
A little more intricate, but
this is one of those games where it plays into like the casual and core world.
right.
Right? In that sense. And it's actually not a bad price game. It's like $7.99, I believe. Thank you for dropping the link in chat, Baltimore. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I mean it's definitely, games that are not expensive. I think we've even got a discount for members on it. So it's something you can get in play. It was fun to sit there and play around with it last night. We're going to be showing it on our Wednesday show, I think. We're still doing that, right? So it was just one we were looking at, kind of, it melds the worlds together of like casual and core. And it does it in a very good, compelling way that you want to keep playing. It's not, as far as I played through it, it's technically not as complex as the FTL or We're in Space or Weapon Shop or anything like that.
Yep.
But the whole series is interesting. Yeah, Baltimore, you're right. It's got a lot of interesting mechanics that they do of other games that are out in the market. So we like it. That's about all. I mean, you can definitely check it out. This is one, the link that Baltimore's dropped into chat, this is one where you can play it for free as well.
Yep.
So you can try all of the Holy Potatoes. You can try for 30 minutes on Wild Tangent.
I mean, even that, all the Daedalic games at this
All the
point, right?
Daedalic
Yeah.
games, yes. It's outside of like Witchit and
Crazy
Machine 3, and then what's the third one we had just...
Oh my gore.
Oh my gore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those ones all have a cert. The reason why they're Steam keys and not on ours, they require Steam to do the multiplayer or the online components.
Yep.
And that's something that the developer chooses because it financially makes sense, right? You would have to run your own servers and everything to be able to offer the same instance across all the different platforms of distribution for
We're not
GOG
quite,
or for us.
we're not quite to the point of one universal backend of like
not
use
yet.
Xbox
Not
Live
yet.
or Steam or whatever, regardless of platform that you're on.
Yep.
So
But all the Holy Potatoes franchise, all of those games that are on Wild Tangent, you can play for 30 minutes free and check them all out, which is kind of nice. You get a chance. 30 minutes easily gives you an idea what the mechanics are like and if they're going to be fun.
yep.
I was able to play through a majority of, all the way through each tutorial in every game, and then get into the meat of the game, being able to play it for like a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, this is kind of low key, but one thing I've noticed, as you and I've played 35 or 40 Daedalic games in the last month or so. These games that have mechanics, the tutorials they're not heavy-handed. They're done in a way that I feel like you can pick them up, you can play them, you get a rough gist of how to play.
Yep.
Sometimes these games where they stack intricacy on intricacy, that you're sitting there and you're an hour into this, you're like, oh my gosh, can I play?
Yeah, you're looking for the future of
Right,
what it'll be
yeah.
like when you start to play.
Right, and it turns in, you've played for an hour and it turns into this Barcraft game or whatever where you got stats and pie charts and wheels and it's just, so I find these to be very playable. You can get in, get the gist, start playing.
Yeah, you don't have to sit there through a 12-hour tutorial like Final Fantasy 12 or 11. So.
Or 13 for that.
Or 13. All right, let's move on to something we all probably have played. If you're of the age of late 20s, Contra. Right?
Yep.
Contra is a game that we've all played, mostly. And it's a fantastic franchise. It is super hard.
Everybody I know has played Contra. Everybody.
I can tell you that out of this... So this is the Contra collection.
Yep.
This is from Konami. They launched it. It's on PC. It's on Switch. I believe they're coming to PS4. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I gotta
and
think
Xbox.
so. I gotta think so.
But they're on PC for sure. And it covers a lot of the big games in the Contra series. Like Contra, Super Contra, Contra for NES, Contra for... TurboGrafx, I think it was, or PC Engine.
Yeah, you get arcade,
Super
NAJP, right?
Yep. You get like the Super Nintendo version, Contra 3. You get the variants of that, which are from other markets, right? Where it wasn't Contra, it was actually a totally different game.
Is it the Probotector?
Probotector?
Super Probotector, I think is what it is.
Yeah, one. I believe what those are, one is they're both European variants of like the SNES and the Mega Drive or the Genesis versions.
Okay.
Because they're the exact same games.
Yeah, well, you were talking about the other night that you went home and would you crush through Super Contra? Contra 3?
Yeah, well, Super Contra 3 is the only one that I could get through. Man, I forgot how hard. I was telling Brooks, when I was a kid, we'd spend the summer, when Contra first came out, a buddy of mine, Brian, and I, we would get up at like 8 a.m. and start clocking in to play Contra. And we were trying to essentially, by the end of summer, be able to get through Contra on playing together, co-op on one life. Mm-hmm. And we were able to do it, but it had been years since I've really touched Contra, like probably 30 years. And probably a little bit longer than that. And when I played this one, I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting into, man, it's a tough game. It's still a tough game. And there I have some choice words for the Sega Genesis version of this game. I was livid last night, and you will see how much gameplay I show of that game in here. It's like one stage, and that's like literally the farthest I could get on that one stage is what you see on here. But yeah, Super Contra 3, I really enjoyed, or Contra 3, sorry. I really enjoyed that one, and I still play it today, and I can get through majority of that one because it's not that bad. The nice thing is this has save states. So they obviously put a lot of thought into it. They're like, we're putting in like special, backgrounds. We're putting in the scan lines. We're putting in, you can make the screen into the different the different scaling resolutions. Like if you want it to be full screen, pixel perfect, or like traditional.
Right.
They put all that in.
Gosh,
save states.
Gosh, I dislike the power up you got on this one. This is
I do too. I hate this
favorite.
one. In the first Contra, the spread was the only thing I ever wanted to have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this fire one. It's better than the fireball of Contra 3, though. Or Super C. Super C.
Slow.
Yeah. Super C was, like, ridiculous.
Oh, well, you got spread and then you didn't have spread.
Yeah, I died right there.
And one thing that I think is kind of funny about this, contrary to popular belief.
Okay, both of them lost.
I think this game's harder to play with two people.
It is. It's extremely hard because you got to carry your friend along with you, and you can't really jump ahead.
You kind of got to be in lockstep on the whole thing, and it's like when you're playing alone, you can kind of be like, okay, I got this, I don't got this, but you're playing with your friend, and he'll be like, I got this, and he doesn't got this, and the thing goes off the rails.
Yeah. So this is Super C. This was again on the NES, and tough game still. Like the challenge, literally the guys coming from behind you never stop. They just constantly barrage, one after another, and man,
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. Just
relentless
game, really tough. Sometimes you get guys mixed up. Yeah, no, that's true. The worst one, we were talking about this the other day, Baltimore, was when you would have your buddy with you and you're trying to go up the waterfall.
The waterfall level.
And like you get too far ahead or you can't jump anymore because that guy's just giving up. He's like, I'm stopping for a minute.
People start making accusations, words are said.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's like I'm leaving you on purpose.
Nobody's friends any longer. Nobody's playing Contra again. Those were the tough parts.
Oh, dude.
But, in this game, it's interesting to look back at it, and I'm glad that Konami's done this. I'm glad that they're going back and revisiting, because there's the Castlevania collection as well. We also said, there's the arcade one, and even the Secret of Mana, they just put that out too with the collection kind of thing. So they're all doing a lot of cool stuff for the Switch specifically, but we're getting it over on the PC side.
Yeah, I mean, once they kind of make it, porting it over to the other platforms is a little
Here's the Game Boy version. Oof. Operation C. Hell, I got through this one a hell of a lot easier than the other ones. This was great.
91. What was I, 4? 5?
Yeah, exactly. This one was a little bit rough, a little bit slower. But
probably helped, actually, that it was a little bit slower.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you'd imagine the screen was horrible. The controls were compact, and, your battery pack would last like... the batteries lasted okay in these, about 10 hours, 12 hours, something like that.
Man, when games were difficult too, now it's like you're playing, it's just like, oh, my armor's recharged, so is my health.
Yeah, the damn waterfall got everybody. This one was fun, just to be able to sit there and play it, and it looks great on a TV. Although we sit there and kind of go, oh, it looks ugly, it looks amazing in comparison. Go grab a Game Boy, play this game, and tell me you think it looks good.
With the green background, with
the monochrome
blue,
or whatever, yeah. I mean, I know that there's retro enthusiast would be a very light word to use. Retro purists that like only ever play these games on the original games or on the original consoles and all that. I get that, but being able to play it on here, this was the most fun I had out of the list outside of Contra 3.
Okay.
Because I could actually do something.
Right.
Right, and kind of, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit simpler than the other ones. It's your character sprites are far larger in this, so a little bit easier to manage.
They could only do so much with what they had, right? Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. That is like the worst one. The backlit screens, much better than that. I don't know if you remember having the magnifier with the light on top that shined down and getting it into specific positions so you could see like what the hell was going on.
I got one and
messing with the contrast.
And then eventually my buddy Kay that I went to high school with, he showed me this thing called the Game Boy Light, middle school.
Yeah.
Which was like, dude, that...
Oh, the Game Boy Light was the Japanese version, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't region locked, so you could throw your American games in it. And even though
it was almost like an Indiglo type product. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like Indiglo was a thing back in the day. It was kind of like how watches lit up and that stuff.
Yeah, and, even though the color was a little strange, being able to play in the darkness...
Yeah.
Off.
I ended up... I had a Game Boy. I got it like launch day. It came with Tetris. We talked about like how many Tetrises you could have.
Right.
And then I didn't really play a lot. I played a lot of Game Boy for a period of time. Mm-hmm. Then I stopped playing it, and it was like a 10-year period before they got to like Game Boy Advance, I want to say. Between Game Boy, there was a couple like Game Boy Color and that. But then they came to Game Boy Advance.
Miniaturized it, colorized it, advanced it, and then...
And Advance was the thing for me. I really enjoyed that. So I actually put a backlight on that, like tore it apart, put a kit in, like Baltimore's talking about, and had a backlit like Game Boy Advance, traditional Game Boy Advance.
I didn't have a backlit one, but when they clamshelled it and SP'd it.
The SP, yeah. The SP was the way to go. It was the best one out of all of them, I think.
Clamshell Pokemon with a backlight. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, everybody was
sure. I was there.
So yeah, this is basically this is the one. I just won't say anything about it. This is the one that did me in last night. Contra Hardcores. This was the Genesis, really exclusive like Contra game.
You're gonna ratchet the lives up real quick. Oh, only 3.
No, I was stupid, and I'm like, what the hell does it mean one player? Because I was like, I'm just gonna play once, and that's all I needed. Because just look at the amount of enemies that come out of this thing. It's like. They were looking. They're like, we know there's a sucker playing. Send them all now, But you do get a chance to play around. It looks really good in comparison. Like this looks probably as good as Contra 3 does for the Super Nintendo, but it moves way faster. The only problem is you can't shoot when run.
Oh no! Can you shoot and jump?
Yeah. No.
Oh gosh!
Look at that. And that was it. This is the so this one here is Contra 3, but this is Probator.
Somebody had enough.
Yeah. So I was just going to show the example of like the different frames you can put it in. and then the scan line effects and things like that in it.
No, let's go play Genesis Contra.
Oh my god, that one, man.
Howie
was sitting there listening.
Did you get?
Oh, literally like 2 more steps, and it was every time. It was like we're sending out 20 enemies, and it, like I said, it moves really fast. It's a faster moving Contra than the one on Super Nintendo, and I have to imagine that had to do with blast process. I don't know, but it was
all of my. I have to say, all of my Contra play must have been on some variant of NES and SNES.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't think because I didn't play on Genesis. I didn't play in arcade.
Having trouble with the damn menu structure too, but
gosh, that's
here's the display. I think I'm going to put scan lines in it now. So they even give you artificial scan lines to kind of make it look kind of what it did.
How it used to be.
CRT TVs, things like that. There you go. So that's cool on Contra. Contra was fun. I enjoyed all that.
So tell us more about Contra on the Genesis.
Yeah, man. Well, I think next week, barring we get anything crazy in that we want to cover, I think next week we should probably do Contra 3. Play.
Okay.
Which
I think we were going to do tonight.
We were going to do that tonight, and then plans changed, and plans changed again.
Bloodstained came out.
We were going to do Castlevania, and then we're like, no, we're going to do Bloodstained.
Right.
Okay, let's keep up with all this. So we do have Bloodstained up. So let's go ahead and jump right into playing some of that, so everybody can get a chance to check it out. There is a nice long story at the beginning. Bloodstained to me is kind of. Here, why don't you play a little bit in the beginning here? It's kind of an RPG homage to Castlevania, right?
Yep.
Like Symphony of the Night was, but a little bit even more beyond that.
Right. Some of your items have got stats. You've got abilities.
Yes.
It's not just like whip, star,
right?
Potion, or what they call the
I
holy
would
water.
I almost want to say, like, in a way, like it's Simon's Quest combined with Symphony of the Night.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like Castlevania 2 combined with like Symphony of the Night. That's what it reminded me of. And that was one I don't know if I'm one of the only people that like Castlevania 2. I don't know if I can say I liked Castlevania 2. I beat it. And I didn't really have a major problem with it. Thanks, Baltimore.
I'll take care of it.
With the game, but I like the idea that it was trying to be more than just a linear path right through the castle, and that they were trying to add in like these little things, although they really didn't do a good job in some instances, but they did a good job on others. The graphical improvements of this are phenomenal. This, in comparison, like, it looks amazing.
You've got the 2D art scenes with the. I guess or is that even 3D?
Like 2.5D
and then
is really what it
and then
is,
you've
like hand-drawn.
And then you've got the kind of the polygonal.
Yeah. It's really like 2.5D graphics with like hand-drawn, style. But she moves well, fights well, the graphics look amazing, like just everything you get into. The bosses look really amazing. So I don't know, I've just been really happy with the package, what you've got here. I definitely could see having it on Switch because you want to take it with you. But playing it on PC,
maybe I just need to.
It is nice. And again, being able to play it on PS4, Xbox, all there as well. Looking through our stuff here. You have to use the right stick.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it got me too. I think I had to move back a little bit and kind of like aim towards the blue part. There we go.
That's nice.
Yeah. Now, what are you gonna play? What do you play mostly on PC though, Baltimore, right? Because Curse of the Moon, I want to say, is only $9.99 on PC. It's actually a reasonable price. Switch, it's available, but you're paying for a physical version. I don't know if they have it as digital download. Yeah, the whole,
Oh, I'm all about the exploring.
That's really the fun of the whole thing.
I need something a little more range.
Yeah, the boots are a little bit. I don't know if you'd gotten those, or did you just have the knife?
I have the boots. I got the knife.
Well, you might got us. Check your inventory now. It looks like you got
I got a
another
potion.
Oh, was that a potion?
Yeah. Okay. So far, yeah.
The boots give you a little bit more range because their legs are long.
Is there any? Well, I guess they're both attack.
Yeah, $9.99. You can't really beat, and there's a lot of replay on Curse of the Moon.
I haven't done it yet, and
I believe I have Curse of the Moon too, on multiple systems. I like that game.
I haven't done it yet, but I've been in my, a couple of times I've gotten close on Dead Cells, which I still haven't used yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's been a couple of nights where I've been like, what?
Dead Cells, they just did an update for it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed Dead Cells a lot. This game, though, I think I like better.
Okay.
In terms of, like, graphics. I like pixel art, and, the whole Metroidvania thing is good in both, but this one, it looks really good. I mean, even the Castlevanias that they did, what was it? Castlevania Chronicle X? Or the Castlevania Chronicles. For PSP. Had the 2.5D. Had the 2.5D design. It looked really good, and I want to say Koji did that one, wasn't it? So this is supposed to be the spiritual successor to Symphony of the Night.
Okay.
In terms of like everything he had worked on. He did do after Castle, because that was his first one that he was senior role on within Konami on Castlevania Symphony of the Night. He later served as lead producer on Castlevania series, starting with Castlevania Chronicles in '99 and ending with Castlevania Harmony of Despair in 2011. Harmony of Despair was that one for the PS3 that was you zoomed back, if that's the right one I'm thinking of, where it was like this big... You had a massive view of like the whole level.
You could pull back and see a tremendous amount.
Yeah, and there was like, I think 4 people could play it.
That's right.
I think it's that one was. So he was on that one. During his time with Konami, he involved with other titles. Okay, he's done a lot with them.
Yeah, low-key, I played a tremendous amount of the...
So oh wow, here's the entire list.
They made a bunch of Castlevania games for the DS that I played.
Yeah.
I played a couple of pretty through.
There were some pretty good ones. The only ones that I'd say I didn't really care for were the N64 version of Castlevania. But let's see. Here's the ones he was producer on. Oh yeah, some of the bosses in this one are huge too. So I mean, they've done a great job with it. He was... Oh, he did work on Rondo of Blood in a way. They said he got a special thanks. Maybe he helped them with something on that one. So he was actually working on Castlevania all the way back to Rondo of Blood.
Okay.
Symphony of the Night, that's where he was assistant director, programmer, and senior writer. He had a lot of roles on that one. Castlevania Chronicles, he was a producer. Castlevania Circle of the Moon, promotional. He was on Harmony of Dissidence. That's a PS2 game.
Okay.
I know that. Aria of Sorrow might have been a DS game. Yep.
Yeah.
Lament of Innocence. That's another PS2 game. Dawn of Sorrow again. DS. Curse of Darkness. I'm thinking what that one was. I don't know. Yeah, not sure on that one. Sure, we could click into it and find out. I'll actually put this into chat. Portal of Ruin, Order of Shadows, Dracula X Chronicles. That's the PS3 version, or PSP version, I believe. I believe so. Order of Essence, or wait, Order of Sissia? Castlevania Judgment. Oh, there's a lot more Castlevanias than I remember. Castlevania the Arcade, Castlevania Adventure of Rebirth, and then ending with Harmony of Despair. And then it was, he made, you know, Curse of the Moon, and then Ritual of the Night.
There's certainly more. I have certainly not played all of them. There's far more of them than
Here, let me flip this to full screen so everybody can see that too. There we go. Yeah, because some of the... Oh, mobile game. Order of Shadows was... Do you remember a mobile game? Oh, it was a Java platform fantastic mobile game.
Like a J2ME game?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. And some Nokia 6620. Castlevania Judgment. That was on the Wii. I don't even remember Castlevania on the Wii.
You know, I didn't. I played some Wii Bowling. Played some Blocks.
Boom Blocks, yep.
Played some of that on the Wii.
It was fun.
Wow. Close there.
Castlevania the Arcade, which looks to be a shooter. Like a light gun or a whip. Must have been Japan only? Japan and Europe. Light gun shooter. Okay. Like that game we played down at Seattle Retro Gamer.
What was it?
Vampire's Chronicle or something like that? What else did we have here from him? So we've seen a Wii game, we've seen the arcade game he was on. Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth. This is a WiiWare game. You'll never be able to play that one again, because the Wii shop is done.
When did they close that down? Wasn't that here
about a month and a half ago or something like that?
Yeah.
That's a shame. That one's gone. Yeah, when you save, you get a health refill, which is nice. Let's see. What else did... that was Rebirth. Order of Assessia? That was a DS game. All regions.
Now we're speaking my language here.
Yeah. Chronicle, Dracula X Chronicles. That was... the PSP version, yes, and PC Engine. So that was the two there. That was made for both. Let's see, what else did he do? Portrait of Ruin, Nintendo DS game. Curse of Darkness. What is that one? PS2 and Xbox. Wow. There are so many Castlevania games that I've never played.
Big Dog's got a gun now.
There you go. Use that cannon. It doesn't allow you to use your right stick on that cannon.
No, it doesn't. I don't know why you're not lighting. Oh, I already used it.
A lot? No. Actually, a lot of these were released globally. Like there was 3 games it looks like on the PS2 that I know about 2 of them. I've never heard of the Curse of Darkness for some reason or another.
Castlevania's was a franchise for me that I don't want to say I didn't play, but I didn't keep up with it in the same way that maybe other
Yeah,
franchises.
and I guess when it went to 3D, so this is Castlevania, like Castlevania Lament of Innocence. That one was the first kind of like jump into 3D outside of the two that were for 64.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was really disinterested in the franchise after 60 and 64 versions.
Right.
I did get back into them with Shadow. I think you got
This gun is just trashing everything.
I think you got a bigger boss coming up. Lord of Shadows. That was the one that I got back into Castlevania with, and then Lord of Shadows 2. I have it. I've never played it though. I haven't had a chance to really sit down with it. Lord of Shadows though took it in the way that was kind of like God of War style,
Okay.
right?
Well, there was there was this game, and it's not a Castlevania game, but there was this game called Rygar that came out.
Rygar, oh yeah.
It was basically Castlevania with
Yep.
a bladed yo-yo on the end,
Yep.
right? That's kind of.
I remember playing Rygar on the NES.
Yeah.
Yep. But they did have a like Rygar was like God of War.
They did like a 3D
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I know the one you're talking about. I don't think they ever made any more Rygars. They took Karnov. I know he went a separate way on the NES.
Yeah, I think.
And Karnov was in Rygar. I don't know if he was supposed to be in Rygar, but that was the character looked the same.
You see how to get up there? Can't double down.
I was going to say, is there something that he's going to give you?
Got a bunch of coin. Let's see. You never pulled the map on this.
Is it up on the D-pad?
Up on the D-pad is up once.
Oh. No, I don't know. The map is just always up in the right-hand corner. I've just never noticed. I don't know if there's a way to open the map otherwise. Yeah, no worries. We'll be here. Yeah, this boat ride.
This keeps happening to me. I have no idea what's
So-
going on with this.
She is absorbing a crystal that crystallizes her body.
Okay.
That's what the doctor or the professor or whoever's with you in the beginning tells you is like, oh, you know what? Like, you shouldn't really try to take much of that in. But that's how she gets her powers, too. But it's also hurting her.
Because I've got a fireball and I've got this.
It looks like water. Can you go down right there?
Yeah, I'm trying to map one.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I was trying to pull up a wide view of it.
Oh, there you go. He's waiting to say hi. That wasn't too much.
Yeah, you know, sometimes.
That's where you want to get to. Oh, you got your boxes you can move. Now, can you jump up enough? There we go. Double. There it is. the squid thing a little bit of water. Oh, he spits it back at you. Or maybe that's his power. Every time I'm on a ship, I think of God of War, though, in this kind of scenario. Because remember God of War 2? Where Kratos he lands on the ship and all hell's broken loose before he get. No, that was God of War 1, wasn't it? He's leading the attack. They're on a ship.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that. Okay, here we go. Don't confuse me with Alucard.
Tell me.
How does it...
And you're right, it's hard.
Not what the anchor. Come, Gregory. We're leaving.
Got the whole face thing going on.
Devos, wait!
See, there's that crystal on her back.
Okay.
This crazy boss. I guess I'll put this article. So this is from the Wikipedia, Koji Igarashi. So I'll link that in the chat. If you want to know more about kind of Castlevania's lineage and the beginning of Bloodstained franchise, that's where you get your information. I'll link it in the post. She's putting out all sorts of things now. I was trying to think. She almost has kind of like a Resident Evil feel to it. What was the guy that in Resident Evil 5 that switched to the like water creature that you were on the boat shooting them from? He's a little creepy dude.
His name starts with a T.
Yeah.
Talking about
Travis? No. It reminds me. This reminds me of his transformation because he had the T virus thing going on.
Yeah. I wonder how close I was on that boss.
I don't know. Where did you get to on the save?
Oh, sorry. I meant as far as damage done.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Where did this drop you?
Yeah, that sent me to the first save that I took when Baltimore brought up like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, gotcha.
I walked right by it. This was really dumb.
Gotcha.
Do I even have that gun?
No. Mine's better off.
Some scrub mechanics over here.
Maybe better off without the gun. I always found like. Got that big sword and take swings. Oh, there you go. The musketoon. Good thing is, no, it's not infinite ammo. Is a good thing. So.
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, the game it does come with infinite RAM.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Infinite ammo is a good thing for it.
Yeah. I gotta think that you get some guns there. The ammos. The guns are good. I think just get these free.
I would think so. Good thing about this one is they only did one DLC. It's available now, but it's basically what the Kickstarter people bought it for.
Okay.
Or got because they supported it early.
Well, don't they have additional ones planned?
I believe so. I'm not sure how many though.
I want to say 12. I could
Because they give you 16 for free.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
I think that's what it
That
is.
when you buy it,
Let
it's
me go back in there and look at that. So, just to clarify what everybody will get when they buy it.
I know I listed it, or we listed it on the game page when we posted
Because this is a Steam game, so when you buy it from us, you get the Steam key. You go redeem it over on Steam. So you get everything that they have. And that includes... Let's see... 13, you were right, 13. 13 free DLCs via future content updates. So you get that. It's coming down the road. There is one DLC pack called Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, Iga's Backpack DLC for $9.99, and that's essentially the one that the backers got when they supported this. So the Kickstarter backers, welcome back, Baltimore. That's essentially what they get. So you have the option to buy it after the fact, which is kind of nice. I mean, it would have been nice to back it, right, and get the stuff all for free, but at least they're still offering it so you can get access to it. Because there's a lot of games when, we were just talking about the Wii Shop, right? The Wii Shop is closed down now, so you'll never be able to play unless they redeploy that one Castlevania. You will never be able to play it.
So even if you have downloaded it locally, you can't access it anymore? Or if you have it, you're technically okay?
No, they shut the whole store down. So you had to download it prior to them shutting the store down on like May 25th or whatever, before that. Or you will not be able to go back in and download it. There is no store.
Okay.
So that one, becomes lost to people being able to play it.
Bound to the land.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, funny enough, I can still download PT all I want. Delete it, download it, because I got it before it ever disappeared.
Yeah.
But for people that didn't, they can't even get access to it. And the only, essentially I'd only have access to it as long as like PSN's still up, which I look for that to happen and stay for a long time. But I'm not sure if they would keep. I'm curious what they'll do. Will they keep the PS3 store open forever?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's been some of that.
Lost to the ages, yeah.
I guess there's been some of speculation as to what exactly is backwards compatible with machines.
Yeah, we've been talking about that on the PS5. Like they keep saying backwards compatibility. Really, I know there's the folks that love physical games out there, right? That's all they buy are the physical versions. I kind of look at it like, if you're not going to offer physical versions, and really physical versions are not the full game anyhow anymore, even if it is, because there's so many patches and updates and stuff like that when you first throw the disc in, that if they turn the servers off, you wouldn't get that, and potentially you wouldn't have any of that. So there's an argument to be made like, why do you want to keep having more digital? And I'd be like, well, as long as we're paying subscriptions, we should be able to access all the content that was available for those systems.
Right.
If they go and like, okay, life cycles ran out, make sure that you can play all the PS3 games through that subscription you pay monthly. That would be my hope. Granted, some games lose the license.
Yeah, we've talked about
right, if you've got Ferrari's license, like the big one was Outrun. You won't really see another Outrun unless they relicense Ferrari.
Yeah, or what was it? It was one of the GTA games. I want to say 4 lost the license to some of the music after a decade, and they kind of had to go through and update it. If I recall. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Baltimore, I'm with you. I like physical versions, but I also have tons of digital versions, so I'm kind of a hybrid. I don't really have a problem. Wherever I can access the game, I access the game. But I do like the physical version, but it does take up a lot of space.
Yeah,
Yeah, GTA was another with the lost music that was in that.
I'm a big fan of my own digital, so I can play right.
Right. It is nice having things readily available where you can just start playing the moment they're available and hit the server.
Part of me does have a fear that at some point we get smart about this. When does one day turn to, pay 5 for 2 days, pay 10 for 3 days, and
well, we've already seen that. I mean, there's been like pre-order, get access to the game for 3 days before everybody else.
Anthem had it.
Anthem had it. Division
had it.
Ghost Recon has had it.
Okay.
What were other games where you could get access to it ahead of everybody else? I don't know, but it's almost like they know that streamers and people that want to play the game, they want it early because they got to get it up on their channel, and if it's a variety streamer, they're going to have more, of that. So I don't think it's unintentional.
Oh, definitely not.
Right. It's an intentional move on their side. Oh, the GameCube game discs? You like the size of those? For keeping space and all that.
Yeah, this is another thing me and Baltimore are the exact same page. I absolutely love those systems.
Yeah. Oh, I like them too. I mean, I'm with you guys. Just, I mean, honestly, the Switch actually is not bad the way they have their physical setup because they're just little cards, right? Vita was like that, just a little card.
I don't mean to ask enough to answer Baltimore, like 30-ish.
Yeah, Baltimore, how old are you? I want to say he's probably mid-30s.
Okay, that would be right there, right?
32. So early 30s.
So, yeah.
The exact same age.
I just turned 33 the other day.
Now you get back here.
Oh, I'm going to the save room first. We gotta level up. Save room.
We're going to take a swing at the boss.
Yeah, I might farm.
There is a lot of farming in this game. Which is all the better, right?
All about it. Let's do it.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of farming. There's a couple good areas I already know of farming it further into the game.
See, this was my mistake last time. Was not doing this. I walked right by this room.
Instead of a coffin, you got a couch to sit on.
That's a nice couch. What do you do with the money? Is there? I assume there's.
You will run into vendors and things like that in the future.
Do you know where your XP bar is?
No, I don't know if there is an XP bar. I guess it's there, but I mean, not on the screen.
Next XP is 194 away.
Yeah, I don't think there's any on the screen. When you're playing, sorry, not when you're. The Resident Evil remakes on the GameCube, yeah, they were really good. I always wanted to play. I almost bought it, but they had a copy of Metal Gear Twin Snakes down at the Retro Gaming Show. $75 for GameCube. That's kind of high, but it's also a decent enough price to where you go like, okay, buy it. They also had Eternal Darkness, but somebody sneaked that in front of me.
I played a tremendous amount of those. That was the first Metal Gear game I played.
Yeah, I've never played it.
Funny enough, it was a Kojima / Dennis Dyack of Silicon Knights, the guy that did Eternal Darkness. That was how he wound up with
funny.
that Eternal Darkness, after it being a N64 project doomed a dozen times over, turned into a GameCube project. They threw the insanity meter at it. It turned out to be this weird hit of a game.
Oh yeah. Baltimore said he owned a copy of Twin Snakes too. So yeah, you guys were right in the same one.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun story where they originally Miyamoto went to Kojima and said, "Hey, we want to do a Metal Gear game." Kojima's like, "Well, Metal Gear's a little intricate, so we couldn't just because at the time I think they were doing 2 for PlayStation."
Yes.
And he was like, "We can't just dump you and show you the trailer of Snake and then be playing not Snake."
Yeah.
So that's how the whole thing. And then Dyack was like, he was chomping at the bit to do another game. Eternal Darkness was a hit, so it was just this weird confluence of events. That led to,
right time, right place. Yeah, remember that one skateboarding game that Konami showed off where Solid Snake was skateboarding in it? Oh, you weren't down at E3 at that time.
Did this ever come out?
I don't know. I don't think it did.
Okay.
But they were showing the skateboarding game. They had a whole setup for it. Ramps, all this stuff, like pro skaters coming in. And it had one of the playable characters inside was Solid Snake.
Okay, I believe that.
But, yeah, I don't think anything ever came out of it.
So before we do that, let's just,
I'm gonna try to gear up.
let's see what. Throw some defense on.
Oh, in Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, you could skate. Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
What was it? Subsistence?
No, Substance. Metal Gear Solid 2. Because then Subsistence was Metal Gear Solid 3.
That's
right?
okay. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I do remember Metal Gear Solid 2. You could skate. And you were on the the rig or whatever like that, and you were skateboarding. The oil rig.
See, now we're cooking with this here.
We're not going to give away. We're not going to give away all the stuff. Evolution skateboarding. Yes, that was the game.
We got this one. Not to be a serial saver here.
Scum saving the whole way through.
And I don't got quick saves. Okay, calm down.
Uh huh.
Calm down. Yeah.
Evolution skateboarding. Yeah, that was it.
But yeah, and then much later, Metal Gear became one of my favorite franchises.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid 4. Jeez. I don't think I could play enough of that game.
Well, because you remember here recently when I got a little bored and I went and I bought all of them. at
You went
GameStop
and
for
found the
$8 or
PS3, you
something.
found the
Yeah.
game, yeah.
That game, I will tell you, for a PS3 game, did not look bad. That Fox engine looked
No.
pretty decent.
No, at the time, I mean, there's not a lot of games that look as good as that one for the PS4. I think that's why a lot of people question, have we really seen, the best the PS4 can do, or what's really the big advancement in leaping to the PS5? How good can games start to look?
Right.
And the Call of Duty one looks like they look pretty real. But, it's like we were saying, it's kind of funny. Metal Gear Solid 4, 2008? 2009?
Yeah.
Looked phenomenal. If it wasn't for all the ways they kill you cheaply by the, oh my god.
So we're gonna get a level up. We're gonna save again.
You gonna do one more save? What level did you get to? 6,
Just got to
7?
6 now.
6.
Nobody saw these saves.
It just fell apart.
Yeah, one of the advancements they've shown some rough videos. Sony has, I think Mark Cerny was talking about it. The loading stuff looks pretty wicked with how fast the stuff loads, and that was, they were even just doing a demo of, I think they used Spider-Man, right?
I believe that was it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's just no load screen. Sign me up.
Yeah, no. I really like the idea of no load screens and the limitation of not I would imagine like the limitation of discs become like non-existent with PS5. Like it will have like some kind of shared like cloud storage.
Some
Right.
of them was unsure, yeah.
There you go. Now you got the damage. Yeah, such a good looking game. Bloodstained. Ritual of the Night. Looks phenomenal.
Look at that.
Oh, you found a new save spot.
Save. Right next to the boss.
You gonna give the boss a shot now? Alright, cool. It's a one-shot try. 'Cause then we're gonna call it a night, I think.
So sleepy. Come, Griffin.
In my belly. That's what it looks like. Reminds me of that. You're doing some damage. You got it. Oh, she figured out your pattern. Oh, that does a lot more damage. Can you not use the right stick there?
I don't have any magic left.
Oh.
Very little magic left the next 30 years.
You gotta let it like build up. There it is.
Oh, no potions. Brutal.
Ooh.
Brutal. Oh, this is ridiculous.
You're just being all like giving your best shot. She was just Oh, but it doesn't give you. You got her. Like I say, it didn't like. You got to level up, but you didn't get like health up. Nice job.
Yeah, I think though you get the whip.
Perfect timing.
You get a couple of extra levels on that. I think did herself a little bit of favor.
Get a chance to see some of the game. Again, not doing too many spoilers here because pretty much there's plenty of game. That's just the
That's
title
title
drop.
drop. Right? So we're not too far into it.
You've got a little bit further to go. I think we'll probably call it good there. Folks, you can get a chance to see what the game looks like on your own. It's available for purchase today. We'll jump over here. Brooks is going to keep playing. Yeah, no, it's a good looking game. I was super happy with this. Going to really enjoy playing through it. I might even do some of my own streams on it, so do a little bit
Got
more.
the level on that one.
Yeah.
This is cool.
But we'll definitely be looking for some other games next week. We're going to try to do some Super C or Contra 3 next week. I think that'd be fun for us. We'll probably show some Castlevania to kind of go back to the roots of this.
Yep.
The Castlevania collection has some good ones on it. Castlevania 4, or
Yeah.
Super Castlevania 4, and then Castlevania 3. It does have Simon's Quest. We'll let it pass for that. I think there is a Game Boy version on there as well for that. Castlevania Adventure, I think. So we'll be showing some of these next week. But really appreciate everybody hanging out. Baltimore, appreciate you sitting there hanging out with us and helping us link everything in chat. It's always a great help, man. Might as well start buying your games from Wild Tangent since you have Steam. Dude, we have so many. We have so many. But we're always trying to bring more on, so
Yep.
hopefully you'll continue to find them on there.
It's kind of what you and I are doing for the
The
next
one
kind of
thing that we
month
do
or
together,
so.
Brooks and I, we try to go out and get a lot of the developers on board. Takes time, but
I think we got things at a nice
yeah, I think
pace
we
right
got a
now.
good pace.
So,
The membership thing that we have, you usually get like 10, bare minimum, you get 10% off of games,
almost always, yeah.
20% off of other games where we can do it, and we try to max it out. So like some games we try to give even up to 30%
Right.
on them. So it's always great to see. I mean, we'll always try to be a little bit lower, but I mean, again, it's not. Gaming is not about like trying to find games at the cheapest, right?
Sure.
If it was, there's a lot of sites out there for it.
I mean, there's also a level to it where like we negotiate, and there's like X we can do. I mean, so
yeah. There's definitely some savings, man. So we appreciate if you do, but definitely enjoy the games that you see here. Go find them, play them wherever. If people like playing any of our stuff. You can do the 30-minute trials, right? If we have it wrapped, you can go check out the game there, and then you can figure out where you want to buy it, which is always cool. We try to do that too. Mm-hmm. But if you really want to help us out in general, like the video. Spread the word. Subscribe. Share the video. Yep. It's always a huge help to get the show more reach so we can talk to more people. We always love to do that. But everybody, have a great weekend. Thanks again for hanging out. We'll see you next week, same time, and enjoy your weekend. Later.